All right. Good evening, traders. Good evening. Good evening. You should be able to see my screen, hear my voice, talk to me, talk to each other. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. Who do we have here? We got some normal, usual suspects. A strong crew already. Let's see. Thank you, Steve. Nice of you to say. Okay, the diehards. Well, I don't see Glenn yet. I'm gonna wait another minute or two, get Glenn in here, and we'll get cracking officially. I thought we'd have more folks. I was talking about a bearish search, bearish watch list, and I thought would be enticing. You don't like the long pause. Understood. Understood. Okay. I have to go back to the post. This is the technical indicator post. Well, we're gonna just dive in, and we'll see if Glenn pops in. Maybe he has had something come up. So officially, good evening, happy Tuesday. Uh, Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Trading Foundation's open forum. Um, my name is Scott. I'll be your host. As always, education, illustrative purposes only. Nothing is intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product. The content of this service is provided solely for information, educational purposes, does not constitute personalized investment advice. Decisions made based on platform information should be done so at your own risk, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Yada, yada, and a yada. Um, SNDK seems to be flagging. The market was up, down, finished essentially flat. The volume was above average, but only like a million, so not enough. It was like 1% above average. It wasn't the five, and even if it was only a 0.35. So it's kind of in a zone that could be indicative of stabilization. That's clearly what we're hoping for. Uh, today's VIX. Today's VIX Hey, Vladimir, good to see you. Still waiting for PLTR to signal a trade. Okay, fair. Fair. Um, yeah, the VIX had a little bit of a move up on the volatility, very similar to the little bit of a move down on the market. Did not get back to the old high, just like the market did not get back to the old low. So we're seeing things happening in here. Okay. Let's go take a look at a search. Let me get a note card ready. Gotta have a note card for my new embarrass your watch list. Yeah. Okay. Today is 03/24, and we are looking bearish. What are we going to do for a bearish search? First and foremost, I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, well, let's run a basic bull search. And let's just flip it because it has a lot of stuff that we need. We need 2 million. We need over 10. We need optionable and shortable. And then we have two other things we're looking at. Now, right now, our basic bullish search is 244. In a bull market, that can hit 600. So we know that that's telling us that these conditions are down to some extent. And now we're saying to ourselves, if I I'm starting to look the other way, let's look at something that now here it's give me something that's above the 50 and above the 200. Let's start with below the 50. Okay, now I have below the 50, but above the 200. So you'll notice you can see those on every chart. That one is the 50. Whoops. That one is the 200. So you would expect price to be in between those two levels. There's one, price is in between. There's one, price is in between. Another variation of this would be for us to take it and go below the 50 and below the 200. And now you're going to see this is finding things that are like, for example, hymns, actually. We looked at that today and we said, hey, it had a kind of a pop, but you'll notice this thing is still on the underside. So now you're like, well, hold on, Scott. You got 570 here. And let's go back above the 200, 270 there. That's 800, 940 stocks. Obviously, that's too much for us. So let's keep adding some things. I'm going to say let's look for something that is down for the month. And you'll notice I went from 270 to 248 and up for the week. And then I went from, now I've gone from 270 to 46. What did we just say we wanted? Something that has dropped first, then gone up a little bit. Dropped first, then gone up a little bit. Now, these are things that are, remember what we have built into this. Let's pause for a second there. These are things that are over $10 a share, over 2 million shares a day, optionable, shortable, ready for that. Then here, they're below the 50, but above the 200. So they've dropped, but not that much just yet. We think there's still some downside potential. Oh, can you hear me? Now, how long did you lose me for? I didn't even move my hands today. This microphone. I might need a new microphone. I was saying we've moved with just these tweaks. We moved from 900 down to about 90. 900 to 90. Now what? Now we can go in and say, all right, what let's go one sector at a time. Now, when we search through a bullish sector, what we'll do is we'll actually come in and we'll say, I'm actually going to take this off. You'll see why in a second. I don't need it. But when we go through a bullish evaluation, we'll say, all right, let's go to basic materials, and then let's go through each sector or each industry group one at a time. Clearly, we don't need to do that, right? This is um, a Mexican building company. So the question is, do we look at this and think, yeah, that looks like something that could keep dropping? Yes, I do. So this is our early bull list. What do we mean early bull? We mean it's broken below the 50, but is still above the 200, right? So early versus late. Late is broken below the 50 and the 200. So CX on the list. We'll go back. And now we'll go communication services. None. I don't have any. Consumer cyclical. I would expect to find some in there. Indeed. You can see here, Gap dropped, moved back up. VFC, this is apparel manufacturing. Macy's. Ooh, Macy's definitely looks like it wants to drop again. GTX, is that Garrett Motion Inc. Auto Parts? Definitely Macy's. Definitely Macy's. This VFC looks like it's actually, I don't know. Gap actually rallied and broke up into the gap. 3 billion. If I was going to do one of these two, I would do GM. 6 billion here. Yeah, I'm going to try VFC. M is showing positive bullish signs on VP. Well, now remember that everything bearish is going to show short-term positive signs in order to set up the next trade. But it would be very hard pressed to say I'm bullish on Macy's when I see its downward trajectory. I don't know how much. I don't know how much VP is looking at trend to start things off or not. I don't know the answer to that question. Consumer cyclical, consumer defensive. STZ, no, I don't think there's anything that interesting there. Energy, no, I'm not interested in bearish energy. Financial. So here we have quite a few. And we're saying, hey, you know what? Some of these are starting to show some signs of life, but others are not. And that's what we might be looking at, where we say, oh, you know what? This First Horizon Regional Bank, maybe, or Citizens. These are all banks in here. Let's go to the next page for just a second. They're all very similar, right? Very, very similar overall. Fifth Third, maybe. Yeah, I'll go Fifth Third, FITB. Maybe one from the first page too. Uh, 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 So, Stephen, let me ask you this question. What do you want to see right before you buy a put? Think about that. What is it you want it to do right before you buy a put? I'll pull up Macy's as an example. What makes you think, hey, you know what? I think this stock is going to keep going down, right? I think it's going to keep going down. Well, I would want to say, well, who's in control? Buyers or sellers? So now it dropped for a month from 23 to basically 17. Okay, now remember, Stephen, we're not saying these are puts, right? We don't search for trades. We search for stocks to watch. We watch them for trades. So we're not saying, I think this is a put tomorrow. Just like when we do bullish searches, we don't think this is a buy tomorrow. We're saying this is something worth watching, right? Now look at your stochastics. What's it doing? Pinching where? At the top. At the top. If I'm bearish, if I'm bullish, I want to buy as it's bouncing up off support. Reverse that now. If I'm bearish, I want to buy a put when it's bouncing down off of resistance. Bouncing down off of resistance. Now, you might say, but Scott, look at this bullish candle. And I would say, well, tell me about the volume. It's at the same point it was at 4 days ago. It got up here and it dropped. And then it's moved up there again, same spot. Stephen, look at my volume and describe for me how strong you see these buyers on this candle based on that volume bar and its perceived capacity to break out through resistance based on the adjective you choose to describe the buyers. What's the getting weaker, right? Okay, that's diminishing. Well, it wasn't weak here. It was very above average here. And what happened during this time? It dropped. Now, right now, we're saying, hey, maybe the buyers are going to take a hold of this thing and smash and grab it. Did they smash and grab it? No. In fact, the two big volume days were both on indecision days. Indecision there, indecision there. Now, here's the deal is I'm not trying to convince you, well, this is definitely going to drop because I don't know. Right? What I'm saying to you is as a pattern, if we're saying let's build a stable, a roster of stocks that we think look more bearish than not, what's the quality that you want to see? What's the quality that's going to make you think, oh, you know what? This thing is getting ready to drop again. Well, you just said the words, it's getting ready to drop again, which means it's not dropping now. It just went up a little bit. Now it's getting ready to drop again. Does that make sense? I would be, let me ask you a question. I'm not sure about this. How much have you back tested how quick the Vantage Point software will catch turns to the downside for bearish trades? Be careful if you're going to use it, if that you have tested that it is giving you on time signals for when to enter bearishly. Remember, we talk about the fact that stocks walk up stairs, fall out windows. So there you go. Okay. No, it's good to stop and chat. Like, what are we looking for here? What makes us think a stock is going to drop all of a sudden? It's very different than what we were doing before. Healthcare. Glenn, good to see you. I didn't even see you pop in. Very sneaky today, buddy. Very sneaky. Industrials. What the hell just happened there? Industrials. Okay. UPS. Oh, UPS. Gas prices. That's difficult. Pakar. Pakar. Yeah, that's a couple of doozies. Old Dominion Freight Line and Knight, couple of trucking companies. I'm going to go with Old Dominion. It's a little bigger, more likely to have the right options. ODFL. Yes, those make sense, don't they? Show enough. HST. No, I'm not seeing it. Yes, Steve T. Technology. Yeah, we're gonna see some things here. AD analog semiconductors. It's all in the semiconductors, one infrastructure. Oh, I don't know. Analog devices could be one. ON semiconductor. I'm gonna say TXN. No, yeah, TXN. No, maybe ON. ON. I don't know. Let's go utilities. Um, I own Macy's and do a lot of covered calls. Ah, okay. Oh, it's this stuff, right? Dropping from 23 to 17. I mean, that was a 25% drop. So it takes a lot of covered calls to make up for that. And but hopefully it's stabilized now at this point. Okay, nothing for me on utilities. Let's go back to basic materials and let's switch this to late. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got materials, some retail, some financials, some industrials, and a technology. So a good range. A good range. Um, let's start from the beginning. CRH. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. CRH looks a little weak to me. CRH. Communication services. Nothing there. consumer cyclical. Ooh, Harley Davidson. But look, this is what I mean when I say it already looks like it's kind of double bottomed. I am going to put Lululemon and you got Carnival Cruises. Um, you very seldom end up with a call in the money. So you're selling so that you're not getting called out. You're saying, yeah, I mean, as long as those premiums add up to enough to offset the declining share value, then you're fine for sure. I kind of feel like just Gentex just doesn't have enough volume. Let's take a look. I'm looking at that one. Gentex. Yeah, not enough volume there. Harley looks a little bit like it's already dropped and it's starting to stabilize. Okay, that's one more. We're not gonna. Here's defensive. No, for me on that one. Energy, none there. Financial, there's a lot of financial again. Uh, very similar type things, right? You can see like Ally Financial, Symphony Financial. I think I'm actually going to put both of those on Ally, SYF. Uh, lot of things down here. Truist, TFC. Wells Fargo's kind of down in the dregs. Okay, let's go one more. I don't need a ton. That's probably all we need. Yeah, that's good enough. What is this? Financials. Jeffries Financial Group getting smashed. Let's see if they have any options worthwhile. I'm going to say my guess is no. The answer is I mean better than I thought, but yeah, still no. Okay, financials. Let's go to healthcare. Hmm. Thermo Scientific, Fisher, Agilent, no. This Tech and this BRKR. Let's just see if their options look worthwhile. No on Tech, BRKR. I'm going to say no there as well. All right, Thermo Scientific. Let's just make sure those look good. They should. Oh yeah. Well, actually, no. I say oh yeah, but they're really not that much better, actually. Um, let me go to the put side of things. Yeah, I'm actually gonna say no to Timo either. I don't like any of these. None of these had the liquidity that I would like to see. So Ixnay. Industrials. United Airlines. Core and Main. I'm gonna say hmm, Well, maybe CNH. I don't really like any of these. No, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Real estate, no. Technology, there's gonna be some things I think here. Uh Actually, I don't love any of these either. What do I think about Boeing for a put? We'll go take a look. What was I just in here? Technology, utilities. I'm just gonna combine my two lists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14. I've got 14 on here. There was some earlier, wasn't there? The problem is we're looking at it and saying, is this a consolidation? Because our market hadn't turned enough. I'm never going to worry about if I left any money on the table with puts for the first 5 to 8% of a market dip. First 5 to 8%, you're just kind of, passing time almost. If we drop from a 10% to a 20% market, we're looking to capitalize. If we go 20% plus into full bear territory, we're looking to capitalize. If I have a market that pulls back 5 to 8%, I'm not like, oh man, I should have been throwing on, but it's fine. The more you do that, the more you end up having to adjust very quickly when there's a bullish breakout. You're like, oh shit, broke out. I better go do something about that. Right. So um so anyways. Yeah, I think it's a good list. I'm gonna put it together. I'll post I'll try to give it a sector sort like I do the other ones so we can see where they're at. And when I post today's recording, I'll put it in there. Let me go look at Boeing. I know that was just asked for. Oof, we stayed light today. Light today. Boeing, yes, only not now, right? Like right now, I'm thinking, hey, for the last 3 days, we haven't moved any lower, almost 4 days. And we just moved 1, 2, 3, 4 days down. Um, and you can see that was it last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, then up a little bit. And then it's like, okay, so do I wait for this? Who's in control of this stock? Sellers. Clearly oriented down, right? Like that's the line I would draw. So the sellers are in control. You can see here we had this turn, but we're thinking up before down, and then we look to get in and we look to say, all right, now where's this thing going? Well, at the very least, it could test down here to 176. It wasn't there that long ago. Beyond that, we know it can get all the way down here to 132. So we shouldn't be like, oh, I don't know, man. This stock can't get. Of course, it can get down there. What do you mean? Of course, it can. So I do think that looks pretty good. Just it's not up in a setup position. Yeah, where is everyone? Where is every shame? I took notes. I've been jotting down all the people who weren't here. And you might think, Scott, it probably would have been easier to just write the people who were. No. I need a I don't know if I would say an enemies list, not enemies, but just sort of like the shame, I know your name list. I can't, I can't have that list if I don't have all the names written down clearly. So, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. All that goes without saying, Steve C. All the most important ones are here. So if you're listening to the recording and you're thinking, wait, what does that mean? It means you're more important if you're here. So get here. Come hang out with us. I would like to see shoot to the 180 mark. Okay. Is that about back? Oh, drop down to here from right now, or you think it's going to move up a little first? Are you in a put now? If you're in it now, I mean, I agree that it looks pretty good. Yes, you're in it now. Um, I would be careful. The Heiken Ashi is a great resource right now to try to write it down. Be careful, with what happens with this here. But yeah, okay, I like it. Below the moving averages, looks pretty good. Look at the last time it was there. Okay, all right, I'll take a look. Yeah, that's probably the right spot. Whether it stalls, rallies a little, then drops, stalls, and then just drops. Yeah, I can't disagree with your assessment. Okay, any other questions? Any other comments? Are there any concerns? Everybody feeling all right? So we will tomorrow morning check in together. Oh, Stephen, as far keeping there you go. Feeling safe, keeping trades light. That's the right mindset. My only concern is the direction the conflict is heading. Yeah, it's not looking great, right? Like, I don't know. Someone tell me that I'm hopefully wrong on this, but what I heard was they're working on a deal that looks almost identical to the one we had with Iran in 2018, where they like agreed not to pursue, right, the one that we just sort of shredded up, and then they started developing nuclear again, and then we're here. And I hope that's not true. I heard something that said it looks it looks very, very similar, like the construct of a ceasefire type deal, where you're like, oh wait, we're 8 years back where we were. Anyway, I don't know. I'm optimistic. Let's hope it gets taken care of without any more loss of life. That's the best situation. Okay. It's good to see everybody. Have a great rest of your evening. Um, I hold you all in such high regard. I just wanted you to know that. See you in the morning. Get some rest as always. Happy trading.